So this week for the 954sports.com Sports Person of the Week, right here on the 954 Sports YouTube channel, I select Udonis Haslem of the Miami Heat NBA basketball squad for winning this week's honor. Haslem, a legend here in Miami, on and off the court, a Magic City favorite, no doubt about that. I'm Matt Levine. I thank you for being part of the 954sports.com YouTube channel. I hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for dropping by and paying a visit. So why did I select Udonis Haslem? Well, the guy has been just about as class and act as you can be at his 17 years in Miami. On the court, a staple of the Miami Heat franchise. In his 17 years, the 6'8", 235-pound forward has played in 857 games. He started 499. He's giving you respectable numbers and effort each and every time he steps on the court that is worthy of an A+. Averages about 7 points a game, 7 rebounds through his career, 3 championship rings, one of the favorites of head coach Erik Spoelstra. Always speaking volumes about Haslem, what he means to the city and the organization. Earlier in his career, part of a championship squad with Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade. Then later on, part of a couple with these guys, pictured left to center, to Haslem on the right, of course, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, respectively, with Haslem there, sporting his familiar number 40. And the Heat legend, born and raised in Miami, played his high school basketball part of the time in Jacksonville. Then he came back and finished it up in Miami, went on to Gainesville, became a legend at the University of Florida for a legendary coach in Billy Donovan. 4 outstanding years, played in the national championship game, coming up short for the Gators against Michigan State. Went to France after being undrafted in 2002, lost a lot of weight in France, came back, bulked up, slimmed down, and became a fantastic pro and member of the Heat organization. Now that's his accolades growing up in Florida, mainly in college and through the pros that I'm telling you about. What he's done off the court. He's been incredibly involved in the community in several philanthropic organizations. Most recently, he has spoken up for the community during the coronavirus pandemic. Wrote a big article that I believe was published on The Athletic in March when all the spring breakers were foolishly, blatantly coming down to Florida, having a little too much fun during the pandemic, and in an extremely respectful and eloquent way, Haslem spoke up and warned them of the dangers of doing so. As the pandemic has played a role here in the United States and throughout the world this spring, unfortunately, right? Such a detriment in so many aspects of society. And then the recent protests, which have unfortunately turned into riots in pockets of the United States, have taken their toll on so many. Here in South Florida, for the most part, the protests last weekend were extremely peaceful. A little unrest in Miami last Friday, but through last weekend into this weekend, everything has been great. Last weekend, Haslem made an appearance, wasn't expected to do so, but showed up anyway at a press conference for law enforcement in Miami, for members of the law enforcement agencies and the community. Leaders were there, and so on and so forth. And he spoke about the difficult position that he's in as a professional athlete and a member of the community here in South Florida. And like so many people in communities throughout the country, extremely frustrated by the tragic death that George Floyd suffered in Minnesota. Also, he has family in law enforcement, does Udonis Haslem in the Miami Police Department. So, he's put in a difficult position, a frustrating one at that. Take a listen to the first soundbite as he talks about the unjust murder of George Floyd and the rightful need to protest by so many. Take a look and listen.
There definitely has to be justice for George.
Yes.
There definitely has to be protest for what happened to George.
Thank you.
But I'd be lying if I said that it's been going about the right way.
And there you have the first clip, and that's clip number 1 from the first clip from Udonis Haslem. Now in the second clip, what I alluded to a moment ago, it's a little bit longer, this clip, and he gives a really detailed explanation about the position he's in. Again, growing up as a person who has family working in the Miami Police Department, growing up as a kid and now as an adult and a big figure as a member of the Heat's basketball team. So take another look and listen to Mr. Udonis Haslem, folks.
I'd be lying if I said that I'm proud of what's really been going on. I have an obligation to this community because this community has done so much for me. But I also have an obligation to the police department as well, who so many of my family members come here every day.
Yeah.
They work, take care of people.
Yes.
They make sure people are safe. So there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
I stand here right now, confused, torn, frustrated.
And I certainly, for one, feel his frustration. And it takes a brave man, a different type of bravery, to take the court with guys like this, right? And put it all on the line for a win in a basketball game or in a playoff series or a championship series. It's a different type of courage. It's the courage that a community leader shows. It's the courage that a voice of reason shows. Being able to diplomatically hear both sides out and know what's right from wrong. And being able to, again, eloquently communicate that with all the sides on hand. And showing up when it counts. So Udonis Haslem, he's been a champion on the court, and again, in recent times, most notably, he's been a champion for the South Florida community and beyond off the court. And Udonis Haslem, I know you've won lots of accolades. You have 3 championship rings. But until now, you've never been voted the 954sports.com Sportsperson of the Week. Congratulations.